Welcome to RIA. In our ever-changing regulatory environment, companies have to comply with applicable regulations to operate legally. Managing regulations is not core to most businesses, but they are a necessary part of the ecosystem. As businesses increase their footprint across geographies, industries, and types of products and services, their compliance requirements could become increasingly complicated. Inefficient management of regulatory compliance can lead to multiple problems, such as delays in business expansion, slower response to regulations, potential exposure to penalties, and reputational risk. There are several operational challenges as well. One of the biggest challenges that businesses face is effective classification of obligations. Businesses also may face challenges in delegating responsibility to fulfill those obligations. Introducing RIA, the AI-enabled Regulatory Impact Assessment System. RIA is a regulatory compliance transformational framework that uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to increase operational efficiency of compliance as new regulations are created. The system currently handles IT regulations, but the vision of this application is to expand to all types. RIA is built on Appian's powerful low-code development platform. It makes use of Appian's modern user interface and workflow capabilities. To address the key industry challenge, which is to efficiently break down regulations into obligations and their classifications, RIA provides strong ML and AI capability with Google Vision and the Regulatory AI Engine, RIMA. Google Vision parses the regulation document to text, which is divided into multiple obligations. The obligations are passed on to RIMA, a powerful machine learning tool that returns likely control classifications. Appian, through RIMA, facilitates the mapping between obligations and controls by providing information such as machine confidence to the user for easy decision making. In addition to using Appian's out-of-the-box reporting capabilities, RIA also integrates with Power BI. RIA has rich capabilities. Maintain regulations, parse documents with OCR, determine categories from AI. It has rich reporting, provides operational efficiency, and the ability to manage a workflow. RIA also allows you to provide info for regulators, provide info to business units, as well as provide information for risk and compliance. Welcome to the launch page of RIA. This page displays two task lists for the two user groups. The first is a list of pending evaluations for application owners to see the status of their submissions, and the second is for compliance and regulation managers to see the obligations they create and their review statuses. The following tabs make up the repository of regulatory objects, including regulators, regulations, and obligations. On the regulator dashboard, we have leveraged the new Power BI component. This allows the user to see that there are regulations and regulators that have jurisdiction all around the world. When a new regulation comes into effect, a compliance manager can create the new regulation in RIA. Let's create one now. A regulation includes a name, source of document, type of regulation, as well as a PDF. This regulation PDF is sent to the Google Cloud Vision API service provided by Appian AI. This extracts the text and divides it into individual obligations. We can see that Google Vision has identified the possible obligations and shows the ones that may not be obligations. We can select these obligations we want to create in RIA. We also have the ability to add text and make corrections before mapping controls. We now send the text to the Regulations AI Engine, which provides a probable mapping to controls for business compliance. Each obligation has its own controls. The engine provides machine confidence for each control category to inform the user of the proper mapping. The regulation we just created is shown here with all the obligations that we added. I'll now bring up a single obligation and we can see it's now in the QC status. We'll see the selected mappings as well as the AI response that we did not select for auditability. A QC reviewer will look at this obligation, the source document, and will ensure the AI has correctly mapped the controls. The QC reviewer can change the obligation control categories. This is a completed obligation. Now that we have a list of the obligations in the repository, let's see an example of how this can be used. The business can use the information to ensure compliance for new applications. A user can submit attributes of the new business application, and a reviewer can add relevant controls that apply to this application. This will allow visibility for application owners to see which obligations and regulations they must comply with. This linkage also allows compliance managers to easily compile a list of applications as part of a compliance report. We believe the future of this application is very bright. We plan to expand the classification capability of the AI ML engine and add other business processes. We believe there's a widespread demand in many industries.